nothing's impossible. A reasonable, intelligent, true scientist would probably answer, no, of course not. Indeed, we know that the entire universe all around us is ruled by several laws and limits that cannot be erased or even forgotten. The word impossible is so tightly linked with our own world, our common life, that it cannot just be reduced to nothing. Did you know that etymologically, the word impossible stems from the Latin one impossibilis, composed of the privative prefix im and the word possum posse, which mean to can, to be able to. We can't just say that nothing's impossible because of the laws implemented by human experience, but above all because of the laws that rule our own existence. No one can just teleport himself or make things disappear like magic. This would be contrary to logic, and our world is based on logic.
Indeed, man can't by himself fly or breathe underwater, but he found a way to go beyond these natural obstacles. We can't always reach the impossible, but we always have to get closer to it. It is actually the nature of human beings. They use their intelligence to innovate and to always tend to reach this so-called impossible. Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." He couldn't be more right. Whereas we thought the sky was forever for birds, men created their own path to it by creating wings. Nowadays, the possibilities and varieties are endless. We can travel the world in only a few hours. The breaking news are almost instantaneous information. We can fly. We have even walked on the moon. Isn't that crazy? Reaching the sky was one thing, but flying through it is something else. The technologies are so developed today that nothing seems to be impossible. Yeah, see, Mars is our next target. Let us tell you a story of ours in order to illustrate our points. France is known to be a last place team in every single sport. But we have followed the wise advice of Winston Churchill and acted upon it as if it were impossible to fail. It is in this spirit that our blue, white and red flag was brought into spotlight. After all, impossible is not French. I like this sentence by Mark Twain. They did not know it was impossible, so they did it. Starting as an underdog doesn't mean anything. You just have to believe in what you do, and imagination is your only limit.
Impossible is a cultural concept. What is impossible in a certain society would not be impossible in another one. A love marriage in Pakistan would seem an absurd idea, while in Europe it would seem ridiculous to be forced to marry. But if the impossible is a cultural concept, therefore it is not natural. Impossible is not an end in itself. In fact, we must see the impossible as a possibility, something that could happen, but is not meant to be. It's up to us to transform the impossible into the possible. There's a saying that goes, two men look out through the same bars. One sees the mud and the other sees the stars. There are two ways to look at life. Us French people say that we must look at the wine glass as half full rather than half empty. With determination, hope, faith and endeavor, everything is possible, and the pace doesn't have to be fast as long as it is steady. Impossible only means we haven't found the solution yet. It's only by revealing the skills hidden in each one of us that we can get rid of prejudice. And our will is ignorant of its power once we set a goal to achieve. And this is why we should never set limits to ourselves. After all, only the impossible is worth doing.
Quand tu souris, je m'envole.